Afternoon.
Afternoon, mate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Bloody lovely.
Good stuff. Another week in the sporting world has passed us by, and the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
You've managed to pick a winning team.
Yes,
How
I
is
have.
this?
Based on no logic or reason, just an American actor.
Some yank from Wales has won you the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Absolutely unbelievable. Just take it you
And we
watched it all.
battered them. It wasn't
Yes.
even close.
It was a mullering of all kinds, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was almost like when you watch City lose to Arsenal 5-1, you just kept expecting the Chiefs to turn it on. And they didn't.
Nope.
Right at the end, they had a little flutter with what they can do. But yeah, they got absolutely annihilated.
One thing I did get wrong, I said one of the important parts of the game was stopping Barkley running, which they did. So Hurts just decided to run instead.
Well, Philly fans owe me two massive thank yous because I said that they'd call you to win it. And I said about 5 weeks ago that Hurts wasn't good enough to win the Super Bowl. So what he did is he single-handedly won the Super Bowl on his own.
Just to prove you wrong.
I said the Bills and the Chiefs are the two best quarterbacks left in the tournament. And Hurts literally won the game entirely on his own.
Yep, he ran for 72 yards, if I remember rightly, which is the most by a quarterback.
It was
in
the
Super
most
Bowl.
Patrick Mahomes performance from a guy not Patrick Mahomes I've seen in the time I've ever watched the NFL. It literally showed everybody.
Yep, he did.
I mean, attacking and defending, they were the best team. I think the best team I've watched in the time I've watched the NFL.
Well, defensively, with the best team all season in terms of points conceded.
Well, they were. I mean, defensively, they were just unbelievable, weren't they? They just
Yeah, I mean, we
intercepted
sacked
everything,
Mahomes
stopped
6
everything.
times in that
Sacked
game.
Mahomes more times in one game than I think he's ever been sacked. It was, yeah, absolutely fantastic, wasn't it?
It was, and it then turned into a great Monday. I was quite happy with my little self. And so you've predicted a winner. I've picked a winning team. This is weird. This is not what we do.
Tides are turning.
We don't.
It's all going to come good in the second half of the season. Yeah, did you see the Hail Mary touchdown he threw as well? The third, was it? Third quarter? No.
Hurts. Yeah, well, they both did.
Oh, my days. Where has he got that arm from?
Telling him he was terrible.
He's thrown that further than most people can kick it with a run-up. I mean, it was weird because it was at that time when I'm thinking, yeah, if Chiefs get a touchdown now, this will be a game. And where does that come from? I mean, talk about playing conservatively, just to, not give the ball away, make sure you go in at halftime 2-0 up, whatever. Fucking hell. And he wanged that thing out.
Send it with a Hail Mary.
Well, yeah, that's like literally either win, just go all out, yeah. It's either win or nothing, isn't it? Win or shit or bust for him.
And it went perfectly.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs
and it was
don't have a
it was
3-peat.
Mahomes and Kelsey against Hurts and Barkley, and wasn't even a competition, mate.
No, it never even looked like a game, did it? I mean, from early on, we scored and then scored again, and it was
Still have been very few people predicted that. Very few.
I mean, in the end, the scoreline flatters the Chiefs because later on, like you said, they scored a couple of touchdowns just because they're rushing the game, and it ends up 42-22, something like that in the end. But that's not the real scoreline.
That's like it finishing 4-2 in football, having been
4-0 with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, they were definitely. It were a 4-0 game all day long. They got schooled in every department. Absolutely.
And like I say, nobody predicted, even if you said the Eagles were winning, nobody was saying it was going to be a blowout like that. It was.
You'd have had a one score game either way. Definitely a close game. Somebody winning it with a moment of brilliance at the end. But I mean, I was just watching the first 2 quarters, thinking, "Fucking hell, what is going on?" It was just, it would, like I say, it was just like watching Real Madrid or Barcelona in the pomp just absolutely pummel somebody left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
I think the worst bit about the game was that's the last game of the season. And
Yeah, it was quite
really
upsetting the fact that it's
got
gone.
into it at the moment. It's such a yeah. I think it's one of the best sports around at the minute for entertainment, and it's finished. It
Yeah,
seems to be such a short season.
there never seems to be a week of dullness in the NFL,
No,
does there? There's always something happening.
always
There's always a
something.
game where
Like I
something
say, we've said
happens.
before, it's very American-fied. It's very sort of over-exaggerated, and it's very long. I mean, the
Mm.
fact that I can watch the non-ad versions is a help because it halves the game time.
But it
But
still goes on for only 2 hours.
yeah, it's a 2-hour game. It's a 4-hour game divided down to 2 hours because I don't watch adverts. That's how much of adverts there is in the game. I mean, the other day I was watching it, and again, all the players are stood waiting for the game to come back from the ad break. I'm like, what sport is this? What? Imagine being in a football stadium and you're taking a throw in and like, can you just hold on? Sky are at an ad break. We just need to
We're
come
still
back. Just give us
still
35
advertising Warburton's
seconds.
bread. Can you wait a
Just run
minute?
in a Colgate advert. I mean, it's like, what will fucking happen, would it? But it's Americans, isn't it? That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's why they've got these ridiculous stadiums because they've got £55,000 a minute coming in from fucking advert.
Well, I
But
think isn't the Super Bowl adverts are the most expensive advertising in the world for that 30 seconds you can pay for something
I mean, how
ridiculous
many
like that.
people watched him? With 60 odd million watched his halftime show?
Oh, it will be, yeah, it's something ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah.
But just to point out one thing to the Americans, it's still not the most watched sporting event in the world because the Football
No.
World Cup is watched by about 2
And I watched
billion.
the videos of them. I'm asking the Americans what the most watched thing were in the world, and it's hilarious that they've just got no idea what most sports are.
No.
I mean, literally, if it's not NFL, baseball, or whatever other game is they watch, ice hockey, they just ain't got a clue. I mean, the World Cup's in America next, isn't it? I mean, I don't think half of them even know it's going there.
Yeah, I think I looked. Last World Cup was watched by 1.7 billion people, and there were 60 million watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not really close, is it?
But,
Let's
I
be
mean,
honest.
does it outstrip the FA Cup? Yeah, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would assume so, but I could be wrong. I haven't
So
actually checked,
it's
but
up
I
there
would.
then, isn't it? 'Cause considering it's not a globe, like the World Cup is technically a global
Yeah,
event.
event. Yeah.
For a single country event, it's up there then with the biggest around, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the worst. Yeah, so the worst thing about it was the end of the season. It's like 5 months till we're back, is it? March, April, May, June, July,
Yeah, it was
August.
September, isn't it, when it
Six
starts,
and
something
a half
like that.
months before it's back again.
I
So
mean, that is one
yes,
hell of an off season they have, isn't it? To be fair, I mean,
the season seems very short, doesn't it? I mean,
it lasts
September
sort of.
to February is quite short, I suppose, isn't it? Because the football season starts in September,
Yeah, I mean,
and we're
it
still
lasts
nowhere
sort of.
near the
You
end
have
there.
18 weeks of your regular season. You've then got sort of 6, 7 weeks of the postseason because they spread it out a little bit more, don't they? So I suppose it does
Yeah.
last half the year, but it just doesn't seem
September,
enough.
October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, it does 6 months, I think, whereas football does 9, Formula 1 does 13.
11.
It's like, yeah. So at least Formula 1's back in a few weeks to cover in the gap that we've now created. But yeah, I think NFL's been an unreal season. I'm glad the Chiefs didn't win it because I think it just becomes a monotony, doesn't it? And yeah, I'm looking forward to it going again. Can't wait.
I am absolutely, but seeing as you've just briefly mentioned F1,
What's he done there?
he's back again.
Oh, fucking hell.
This man and his words.
What's he said? I hadn't seen
So
it.
he's made a new statement regarding radio messages.
Right.
There are lots of things we will work on with our promoters. We are still the owners of the championship. I will come back to that briefly. Do we go on and shut down the radios of live communications? Maybe. Do we delay it? Maybe. So he's answering his own questions to start with. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut
I mean,
up. Shut up.
he does realise that all communications from the cars are delayed anyway, doesn't he? He does know
And
that's not
we
live.
bleep everything that's swearing. So what are we
I
achieving?
mean, it's considerably delayed as well. And
Yes.
we get how many radio messages do we get in a race? Maybe
Probably 20.
50? And there must be 1,000, maybe
Yes.
10,000. So it's carefully selected to give people an insight into what's being said. To pick
Yes.
the ones out that mean something to the race. I mean, how many
Yes.
times does Crofty come on and say, just heard on the radio, blah, blah, blah? You never actually hear the radio communication because
Exactly. And anything that they say that it's not broadcastable, guess what? They don't broadcast. So it's irrelevant.
But again, why are we in this situation where we're all offended by swearing? I understand that there might be kids watching Formula 1, so you can't have everyone effing and blinding. But I mean, we all live in a world now where people are swearing left, right, and centre. Are we really going to be offended if we catch the odd fuck on a Sunday afternoon at Grand Prix?
No, he's just making his own dictatorship and his own strange tin pot world. But then the other bit, we are
Is he a very
still
short man? Has he got little man syndrome? Is
probably.
he like 5'3" and struggling
But
a little bit in line?
the other bit, we are the owners of the championship. You're not, right? You're not. You actually don't own it. FOM and Liberty Media do. You're a stakeholder and you're the governing body, but you don't own it. And guess what? If Liberty Media say we're going to broadcast every radio message, you can't stop them because it's not your decision.
His power's gone to his head, hasn't it?
But it's not even power he's got.
Yeah, but in his eyes, he has. He thinks he can just. Obviously, he's got a few quid in bank, and so he thinks he can buy it.
Every time this man opens his mouth, all I think is shut up. Go away.
I haven't heard this. I mean, it would be relevant either way because I wouldn't listen to him. If I saw a headline with his name on it, I'd just turn it off because it just. Yeah.
It's just unbelievable that this man believes he's literally the most important thing in motor racing. And like we said, without him, motor racing carries on.
Yeah.
If you keep pissing off all the drivers, motor racing doesn't carry on because, funnily enough, you need drivers for cars. It's just
they lose the plot, don't they, when this power comes to him?
Oh, he's fully lost it. As I say, he's running his own. In his eyes, he's running some dictatorial country that he's in charge of, and he's not. He's making the rules of a sport that he can't even control. But as long as you don't swear, he'll be happy. But if you do swear, he'll turn off your radio.
I just can't. I don't know. I just don't. The less I say about this, the better, I think.
That's why I took the rant. But yes, on a better note of Formula One, Tuesday we have the launch event. So we'll see all the new cars that are probably all black and have got no paint on them. Because
explain to me, right? Because you understand Formula One. I've seen a McLaren drive out of a garage that's not delivery of the car and isn't the parts on the car that they're going to run.
No, it mainly is the car that will arrive in Bahrain, McLaren have said. There will be some changes, the front wing and the rear wing specifically, but the body shape that you've seen. So the change to the sort of rear end of the car and around the engine cover will look like that in Bahrain. The paint job won't, just because they're not allowed to reveal that until Tuesday. Williams kind of launched a car that looks like their old car with a new sponsor on it, because that was just they wanted to put out their new title sponsor, which is again blue. It's just a blue.
I just don't understand why there's a massive event on Tuesday to reveal all these things and then they do these things on Thursday that don't really have any meaning. It just.
So what's happening right now over the next few days is the teams want to shake down their cars, so they want to get them on track. They want photographing for their own socials. They want, to get data before they go to Bahrain. But because it's the 75th anniversary of Formula One, they've decided to put on this big event in London for 2 hours where people show off some paint, which most cars don't have any paint anymore because it's too heavy.
Paint's too heavy.
Yes. So they're all going to. The drivers don't want to be there, but they have to be. Nobody's really that interested because, car launch season, when done normally, I really enjoy and I get quite hyped for because it leads up to testing and you get one car a day and they launch, and a lot of the time that you'll have one of the technical delegates that'll talk about the car and the changes for this year. We're just going to get some paint in London.
Fantastic.
That people paid a lot of money to go and see.
So there's going to be a crowd there, I take it.
Yes, tickets were expensive. Tickets have sold out. Don't know why you'd bother. The McLaren's going to be orange. The Ferrari's going to be red.
Is it live on Sky?
I would assume. I haven't looked, but I would assume it's live on Sky. The Red Bull will look like the Red Bull always looks because it's not changed its livery in 20 years.
Mercedes, it's kind of difficult when you're kind of named after your sponsor, isn't it? You've got to look like a Red Bull car, haven't you?
Mercedes will move the black and the silver around into various places like they do. Alpine will come with some really colourful car and then go, oh my God, that weighs more than the Earth, so we'll take all the paint back off it. Stick, Kick, Sauber, Audi, whatever that is, will be green and slow.
Are they going to be
Williams
green
will
again?
be blue. Yes, it will. It will be, but they've now been told. I think it's the stake part of the company has been told it's got to close its UK website, so they're banned in another country now. This is the only Formula One team that's most of its branding is banned in most of the world.
What stake are banned in the UK?
The stake website's been taken down for breach of gambling, something or other.
I don't think anything got banned in the UK. I thought you were just allowed to do what you want.
Swearing will probably be banned soon.
They'll have a job on it in UK, won't they? Jesus Christ. Everyone's second language.
But yeah, so that's going to happen on Tuesday, and then a week on Wednesday we go testing in Bahrain, and we actually get the
Cars on
season.
track on a Wednesday.
I believe so. I mean, sure, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 3 days of testing,
Nice.
4 hours
Well,
a day.
quite close to real, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're only a week and a half away, and then it's
A week
2
off.
weeks. 2 weeks after that, so it's the 14th to the 16th is the first race.
Yeah, so he'll finish on the Friday, and then 2 weeks later he'll have testing.
Yeah, like I said, there's a week off in the middle, basically. There, then we're going to race week.
Nice.
We have a second sport back in the world.
Oh, we need it.
We do, because at the minute we're basically down to the Premier League that we will sit and discuss now.
Well,
and seeing as I kind of thought this week, there's not a lot of things going on in the world. I looked at kind of more in depth at where the season is more than the games. So obviously, City played Newcastle, routed them really.
yeah. Newcastle had one of their bad days, didn't they?
Yeah, it wasn't a result I saw coming, if I'm honest. I thought City might win it, but I didn't expect it to be what
Hammering.
it was. Yeah. But that puts City back in the top 4, puts Newcastle struggling. So where do we put both of them in their context of their seasons right now?
City will always come good, won't they? They're too good.
Yeah.
Too many good players. They've got too many good players. They've got a good manager. They've had the ability to go out and spend 200 million to reinforce the team. They're going to come good. So they'll push on. They'll definitely be top 4, probably be top 3. Could even catch Arsenal at some point because they don't seem to be flying on all cylinders. Yeah, they'll be third. They'll be second or third. I think Liverpool have got it won. I can't see anything past that, to be fair. So yeah, and Newcastle, yeah, they'll be. What will they be? 6th, I think.
Yeah.
That's probably where they'll come.
They looked nailed on for top 4 at one point, but now that's looking sort of more and more difficult for them, I think. The 7th now, actually, apologies.
Are they? Forest still in the top 4?
Forest are still 3rd, City 4th, Bournemouth 5th, Chelsea 6th.
You see, you look at that and you think, well, Chelsea got a routing, didn't they, by Brighton?
Mm-hmm.
Forest have got to drop off at some point. They can't keep going. Bournemouth aren't, they're doing well, but are they really going to sustain a top 4 challenge for the entire season? It's almost like nobody wants to come in the top 4, isn't it? It's like, who's going to get 4th space?
Yeah, I mean, one of the notes I'd written after, because obviously Fulham played Forest that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Fulham won 2-1.
Yeah.
I literally put our Forest running out of steam. They were only unbeaten in 8. They've now lost 2 in 3. Is it starting to?
It's going to do, though. I mean, it's like Bournemouth. Bournemouth have only got one squad, really, and they've got like 12, 13 players, and then it's made up of just total unknowns. You can't challenge for top 4. You just can't see it, can you? You got to think that Forest and Bournemouth drop away. So who's going to come? So you can have Liverpool, say it goes Liverpool, Arsenal, City. It's literally leaving it down to Newcastle and Chelsea, isn't it?
In theory, yeah, because
whoever can sort of be less shit between them.
Fulham are not good enough because they're in 8th currently, but I can't see them, making up the ground to get up there.
Man U and Spurs are close to relegation zone and Europe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Relegation battle tonight.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a bit and get your thoughts on that one.
Well, Chelsea are looking to offload Sancho before they've even bought him, rumours are now, because he's dog shit.
You can't sell a player you don't own. Even Chelsea can't manage to do that, surely.
Well, there were rumours going around a few weeks ago that we're going to try and get out of the contract, which obviously they would.
Man United are not going to let that happen.
Yeah, if you're Man United, you're just
You're forcing that sale through.
But there's rumours going around now they're going to try and offload him once they've bought him because they owe 20-odd million, do they? I think they still owe 25 million on him.
It will be something like that, yeah.
They've got to pay 25 million in the summer, and they're going to try and get that 25 million back by moving him on. I mean, just to let them know, I did tell them when they bought him that they shouldn't have because he's an
It's a
absolute
terrible idea.
he's an absolute moron with a horrendous attitude. And then did you see Matomo's goal? The first goal.
That's
when
an
it comes over his-
unbelievable
Oh
goal.
my god. Where's that come from?
Unbelievable.
Like somebody was like, oh, it was a lucky first touch. I'm like, mate, no. That is an amazing goal. It takes the first touch and his second touch. The defender doesn't know if he's having a shit shave or an haircut. He doesn't know where the fuck the ball is.
Yeah,
He just goes round. I mean, keeper doesn't particularly fill himself in glory trying to save it, but it's almost it needed to go in, didn't it? That needed to be a goal.
Yeah, he just deserved it to be a
If
goal.
that's
Keeper should have
Messi
just gone
or
out of way.
Mbappe or Ronaldo, that's going on front page of every newspaper going. That was just a goal.
I genuinely do believe though Matoma deserve, and I don't mean to sound harsh on Brighton, but he deserves to be to probably a bigger, better club.
A little bid 75 million
Consistent for a while.
Somebody one of them idiots weren't it from Far East. One of them. They bid 75 million for Matoma.
And they've rejected it, but he deserves to be at a club that can win things. I think now he's proved it for
But he
long
will do.
enough.
I mean, that's the Brighton mould, isn't it? They'll keep him till the end of the season and sell him for 60, 70 million.
Probably, yeah. But he deserves that move. He's one of them players that you don't look at him and go, oh, God, he's just getting the money move. He deserves to be at a club that can win things now.
Yeah, no, a good player, and like I said, I'm glad that went in and the keeper didn't save it because it was a proper goal, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Goal of the season contender.
Arsenal closed the gap to 4 yesterday. I mean, it wasn't convincing. If you watched the game against Leicester, it was.
I mean, it's one of them games where even as a neutral, I'm thinking, would I rather watch Coronation Street?
Yeah,
because it was dull.
The first 40 minutes, I'd got it on, but I was kind of walking in and out the room. It was boring. It was just dull.
I mean, he scored 2 goals, didn't he? That Spaniard.
Marino.
But they're struggling to score goals for the rest of the season now.
Well, yeah, because Havertz is now out for the season. And
Havertz is out. I mean, he weren't very good, but he's out.
I'm going to say, it's a worry as a club that he thought was your saviour anyway, Havertz, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's shite. Raheem Sterling should have hung his boots up 2 years ago when he went to Chelsea because he's got about as much effort in as a footballer as a big man. I mean, he's absolutely rubbish. Saka's still not fit for a few weeks. How are they going to score goals? They're not really going to think that Moreno's going to pop up with 2 every week, are they? I mean, I just don't. Trossard's not good enough to be in a top team. He's a good reserve. He's a good second player, squad player, but he's not lead the line going to get you enough goals to get you anywhere near Liverpool.
No.
They're lagging behind, aren't they, on strikers? I mean, again, why aren't they going to buy a striker? I know January is not the time to buy him, but there's so many people they could have tried to get and they haven't got anybody. I mean, there were rumours they put a bid in for Isaac, whatever they want to call him.
Yeah.
They didn't. They just pampering to the media so that fans think they've tried. That striker, they're nowhere near. Liverpool got far too much firepower in their team, and Arsenal haven't got any.
But Liverpool stumbled midweek. I know it's the Merseyside derby, which tends to kind of throw up some unusual results.
Everton have been better under Moyes. I mean, again, we're looking at Moyes at Everton, and you're thinking West Ham. Why have you given Moyes up? Because
Moyes he's now got Everton up to 13 points clear of relegation, so they're basically safe now for this season.
Yeah. But they were always going to do because he's proven at West Ham. They were a good manager. You know.
Yeah, I mean the only blip in his career really is Man United, isn't it? Let's be honest. But we discussed that last week.
That fair, and I've said this from the start, not his fault.
No,
not his fault at all. Went into a car crash of a situation. Were given no time, no backing, and it all just went wrong. But you could have put fucking anyone in there. It was going to go wrong. They shouldn't have done what they did, should they, in hindsight? But they should have never got rid of him in the first place. They should have said, look, this is going to be turgid for the next 2 or 3 years. Get him in there, keep him in there, and run with it. He were out after 7 months. He got no chance. But he's a damn good manager. And Everton have done the right thing and brought back the right man at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, and Palace, I think it said something like they'd only lost 1 in 10 or
They've been
11
going
or
quite
something
well.
like that.
Why is Beto suddenly the best striker in the Premier League?
Yeah, he
I
seems to be
mean,
coming good. He's scoring goals.
literally couldn't have scored a goal if he'd have left him 2 open nets 4 months ago. Can't stop banging them in, and literally looks like a player that you'd think, "Oh, actually, he's quite decent. He's fast, he's strong." It's like, where's this guy come from?
And then in kind of flipping about games, but Adama Traore in the Forest game, he was brilliant yesterday.
Yeah.
I
He's
mean,
he's one of them, like, weird talents, isn't he? I mean, he's fast as fuck. He's
and he's
strong
built
with
like
an
a
all.
house.
You would just think you can't knock him off the ball. You can't beat him to the ball. He should be, as a winger, untouchable.
Yeah, he's just what I tend to find is
90%
his
of the time.
skill level lets him down a lot of time, whereas
He's one of
decision
them players that,
making.
like, gets to the byline and then puts it into crowd, and you just think, "You've done all the hard work. All you've actually got to do is kick the football now, the one bit that everyone should be able to do, and it fuck off into crowd." Or,
But
yeah,
then
just
yesterday
does
were
something
brilliant.
stupid with it. You just think, "How have you done all that good work, and then you can't pass it?" It's
But
like,
I said the crosses yesterday for the goal were fantastic. I was like,
yeah,
if he could do that week in, week out, he's
he
unbelievable.
should have been. He's got all the attributes to be a top winger. Like I say, you can't catch him, and when you do catch him, he just he's so big and strong that you can't get him off ball. So, but he just don't seem to have that end product. He's a bit of a loose cannon.
And then Aston Villa didn't have a particularly great day. They ended up
They playing
drawing
Europe
with
midweek or not? No, they didn't, did they?
no, because they got through
Qualified.
in the top 8. But yeah, so Ipswich had a man sent off early for some Sebe being utterly stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you're on a yellow card, don't they? And then try
That's
to leg somebody up from behind, you idiot.
just naivety, I think, isn't it?
But then Rashford came on and looked half decent all of a sudden again.
It's the Rashford thing, though, isn't it? This is what we're expecting. So
He's
it'll
going to
be
be interested for 10
yeah,
minutes.
like Sancho. He's going to be interested for a bit. Everyone's talking about him. He'll have his little cameo roles. He'll just go the same as Sancho. By the end of the season, they'll be sick of seeing him because he'll have done nothing. When you look at his numbers at the end of the season, you'll think it should be better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's free kick, it's the crossbar, but
Yeah. Which Watkins then scores from.
Watson scores from. But I mean, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough for them to think he should be one of the best players in the league right now. He should be in the pomp of his career. He
Oh,
should be
absolutely.
flying, and he's nowhere near. And it's a shame because he's English, and Sancho's English. You know, we've got 2 young lads there that should be. I mean, you look at what talent England have got already, and then if you had Sancho in his pomp and Rashford in his pomp sat waiting to come on, I mean, teams would be petrified, but they just don't care, do they?
No, I say it's a massive shame because they should have been part of this growing generation that we've currently got that are
We should
capable
have
of winning
potentially
games.
6 to 8 attackers in England now that are probably the best set in the world, and we're
Yeah.
too shy because they're fucking lazy.
And then we're basically just shy of a proper central midfielder. But then I
Yeah.
kind of looked at the bottom end of the table. So even with sort of 14 games to go for some, 13 for most, we're looking at 3 from 4, but one's already down.
Well, I think it is because we said this, I think, right at the start, didn't we? Ramsdale going to Southampton? Is that one of the
Awful
worst
move.
decisions a
I mean,
goalkeeper's ever
I mean,
made?
yesterday he keeps that scoreline to under 5. He makes
Yeah,
3
most of the shots against him from his
fantastic
own
saves.
players.
Well, yeah, one of
Yeah.
them's a header from.
I mean, what's going on? I mean, yeah, but I mean, at one point it was pushing to be England's number 1.
Yeah,
It was Arsenal's number 1, and all right, they
yep.
bring Raya in, and they think Raya's better than Ramsdale. That's fine. And I know I go on about people need to be playing, but Southampton just looked such a dodgy move right from day one. Didn't I mean? It'd have been better off going to a team at the top of the Championship. You know, going to Sheffield United again, or Burnley, or
Or Leeds.
You know, going somewhere like that and having a great season coming up with them and having a chance of possibly staying on. He's gone to a team that just were getting pummeled left, right, and centre, and it's just getting pummeled even more. And
I
even
mean, I
when you
mean,
think they're having a decent game, they still just press the red button and commit suicide, don't they?
I mean, he's unfortunate for the team that he's in because, I mean, yesterday, one of them saves, if that's in a big game, that's a world-class save. I mean, he stops that probably
One off,
3-0 from going over the
yeah,
line. It's
over the line.
unbelievable,
I mean,
that save.
everything. The save, the header that's going in from his own
Yeah.
player is a good save. You know, he is a good goalkeeper, and he's way better than Southampton. I just don't understand the decision to go there. I can't,
I don't,
for my
and I never
life,
will. No.
because they're always going to struggle. So you know you're going to get peppered with shots. And one thing you don't want as a goalkeeper is to be constantly conceding goals because it always looks bad on your record, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You can't come out of a season conceding 70 goals and think we've had a good season. It's just not going to happen, is it? So, I mean, he must
With
have
no
had more
clean
shots against
sheets.
him than Germans in war. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's getting peppered left, right, and centre, isn't he? And his own team are shooting at him now. It's like
Friendly
Yanks, like
fire.
suicide, isn't it? Friendly fire, yeah. It's just,
But
yeah,
yes,
I
I
just
mean,
don't get the move. I don't know why he went there. I don't know why he's still there. I'd have just said after 3 weeks, fuck
I'm
it,
done.
don't pay me, I'm gone. I'd rather be out of a job than be here. You'd just go and play anywhere other than there, wouldn't you?
But yeah, so I think we can accept Southampton are relegated. They're 12 points behind. They've only scored 9, so they're not getting 12 at this point. Never mind another 12. That's not going to happen.
No.
And then you've got sort of Leicester, Ipswich, Wolves. Now, Wolves are 17th. To catch 16th, they're now 8 points behind West Ham. So that's becoming an unbridgeable gap for them at this point.
Wolves are. I haven't seen the bottom of the table.
Yes, Wolves are 17th, 19 points. Ipswich are 18th with 17. Leicester are 19th with 17. West Ham are 16th with 27. Then Spurs with 27. Then Man United with 29. This is a weird table. Literally.
29 points.
United and Spurs are in the "are you just about safe" category right now.
We need 11 points to technically be safe.
The 40-point mark hasn't been a thing for quite a long time now in the Premier League. You can usually survive with
35,
about 33, I think, these days. So you need at least 4 points. But yeah, you're in that bracket of. But if you're safe, West Ham are safe because they're only 2 points. Or if Spurs are safe, West Ham are safe because they're on the same points. If West Ham are not safe, Spurs are not safe.
Shit.
So we're in a weird situation. But I do think that West Ham 27 points. It's too much of a gap for Wolves right now. They've got to gain 8 points on them.
So the bottom three are currently Ipswich, Leicester, Southampton.
Yeah.
I really don't want it. So who's above Ipswich?
Wolves.
I prefer Wolves. I like Ipswich. I like the way they've gone about playing. I like the way they've attacked the season.
Well, literally, the note I put yesterday after them getting the draw with Villa, can Ipswich now stay up? They're only 2 points behind Wolves.
I'd like them to stay up. I think they've got a good young manager. I think they've got a good young team. And I think they've gone about it the right way. They play nice football. They're not trying to be too play out from. They don't mind going long. They don't mind pumping up to big lads up front. I think they play well. They play good football. It'd be nice to see them stay up because I think they could potentially build something and be a decent little side.
And I look at Wolves and I go, I kind of think you've had long enough at this now. You're not getting any better, so bugger off.
Let's just say this. I mean, how many managers have Wolves had? They've had literally more managers than God knows.
Man United.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they've probably had 10 more than Man United. I mean, at one bit, didn't they have 3 in one season, Wolves? You know, when are they going to learn that swapping your manager is not fixing the problem?
But yeah, I think it's time they just got relegated and let somebody else have a
got to drop, haven't they? They've been shit now for 10 years, and all they've done is keep swapping the manager. It's not helped them, has it, in any way, shape, or form?
And then when you look at the Championship, Sheffield United and Leeds are probably now on their way back up, so that'll make things interesting and to have Leeds back in the Premier League.
Side coming back up. Did you see the story? I didn't see the story. I got sent by a mutual friend of ours, Cal. So Blackburn's manager has left from 6th, I think he said, in the table, and gone to Derby or next to bottom or 22nd.
And haven't won a game in about a year.
Well, I mean, what's happened there?
So he's had a meeting with Derby County, and apparently, from what I've told, because I've got a friend who's also a Blackburn fan, he thought there was a better project at Derby County over the next 5 years. How? They've got no money and they're getting relegated.
So he's as gullible as they come, then. I mean, what have they said to him to possibly get him to go there? I mean, he's potentially going into the playoffs with a team that's playing quite well.
Yeah.
To Derby, who have been shit since Wayne Rooney went, before Wayne Rooney went there.
Yep.
Again, I mean, how many managers have Derby had in the last 5 years?
And his first game was in charge on Friday night. They lost 4-0 to Queen's Park Rangers.
I mean, we could be in a situation here where he gets sacked from Derby before the season ends.
I don't think they will. I think they'll give him the time because he can't do any worse than what they're already doing. They're all, I mean, they're pretty much relegated at this point. He's got a job on it. If he gets them out of that, he deserves all the plaudits that will come his way. I mean, they're only a point behind Hull City, to be fair, but they've not won in forever.
And just got spanked 4-0.
Yeah, they've just got beat 4-0 by Queen's Park Rangers.
I mean, if you're a manager, and I get the whole project, blah, 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 but you'd definitely be saying to him, I'm staying here to the end of the season. If you stay up, then yeah, we'll have a look at it. Why go now?
It's a crazy.
I know
it really is
Derby
a crazy
needs a manager now, but surely you'd just say to him, put somebody in temporary. If you want me, put someone in temporary charge. I'll come in the summer. That's fine. But you need to stay up. Or if you go down and we restructure what we're doing, I'll bring you back up. But why go now? It can only go, like I say, all right, it keeps them up. Is that really an achievement in the sense of what's that going to do for them next season? Anything? If they go down, it's fucked, isn't it? You know, because he's going to be getting battered week in, week out. So fans are going to be on his back by the end of the season. Players aren't going to have much hope in him. He's going to lose all his players when they go down. I mean, why not just stay where you are? Just the manager's the most naive people in the world, or is it just have they just thrown money at him again?
They're probably just throwing money. But if you look at it, it's such a crazy league. So Blackburn are in 5th, 51 points.
The 5th.
West Brom are 6th, 48 points. Above them, there is an 11-point gap. So Blackburn to Sunderland is 11 points.
Sunderland.
The gap from West Brom to cover the next 11 points is down to 17th. It's ridiculous how close that league is, except for the top 4 of run-off.
It is a good league because suddenly there'll be a team at 14th, 15th, and they'll be in playoffs in about 8-9 weeks' time. They'll just make a run and they go and make the playoffs. And it almost seems like everyone beats everyone except for top 2 and bottom 2. Bottom 2 always lose, top 2 always win, and everyone else just kicks living shit out of everyone else, don't they? It's like,
I mean, yeah, literally. So Preston in 15th are only 7 points off the playoffs. 2 wins and you're back in it. It's mental. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's one of the best leagues in the world, definitely.
Barnsley have given up playing football. We no longer take part. So
I mean, you were top 3, and now
we were 5th, pushing 4th around Christmas. We won sort of 4 in a row around Christmas, just after Christmas. We've now won 1 game since the turn of the year. 2 games since the turn of the year. I apologise. They were the first 2 games of the year.
So all the teams in red are now shit. Barnsley are shit. Man United are shit. The Chiefs are shit. Ferrari will probably
the colour.
Yeah.
We've all got to stop playing in red.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Barnsley's struggle. Where are you now in table?
11th.
11th?
It's not been a gradual decline. It's been like falling off a cliff.
Just drove into a burning building or what?
Yeah.
How's your new striker?
We're still losing football matches, so
not very good.
No.
You've got a couple
but
of
what do you get
you
signing a player from the French second division who hasn't scored a goal since the turn of the
first
century?
First thing I'm doing is sacking the head of scouting. He needs to be gone, doesn't he? I mean, who's that?
We probably don't even have one.
I mean, who scouted him and gone, you know what we need? We need a striker who can't score in French second division. He should be good in our league. I mean, most people don't know there's a French second division. They mind scouting people there.
No, it was utterly stupid, but the club is just a mess. It's run badly. Nobody wants to kind of pump any money into it. They're pumping in about 8 million a year just to keep it afloat. Stadium's old and decrepit. Wow. There's no future plan. There's no forward progress. There's just nothing. It's just basically turn up with what are probably at this point League 2 quality players, quite a lot of them. And hoping amongst hope to try and do something all the time.
Sounds great. It's fantastic.
It is.
What have we got today then?
So in about 20 minutes, it is Liverpool looking to stretch their lead at the top back to 7 points as they play at home to, I believe, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Yes, that is correct.
Oh, well, they're going to win, aren't they?
Well, no, probably not now. After we've just said Wolves are going to get relegated and Liverpool will win the league, Wolves are probably going to win 3-0. So
Liverpool, Wolves, Spurs, Man U.
Yes,
No.
let's ignore Liverpool Wolves because that should be a foregone conclusion. Let's go on to the relegation six-pointer of the day.
I don't even know. I mean, are these the two most random sides in the league?
They're the two most comical sides in the Premier League as a neutral. Not
It's
supporting either is quite
it's.
funny.
I've watched both teams have good game, really good games. I watched Spurs play really well. I've watched Man United play quite well times. I've also watched them be two of the worst sides in the league. I just don't know what's going to happen today. It's back to that again, isn't it? It's literally, and I'm sure we talked about this fixture the last time they played each other. It could literally be 4-0 to either side,
Yeah.
or it could be 0-0 and there'd be no shots on target.
Yeah.
I don't know how many strikers Amarin will play, 1, 2, 3 or none.
I'm at up front.
And just supposedly got no players, so I don't know how many kids he's going to play.
Well, they've got 11 injuries, I think, currently right now.
Which is fine. I mean, yeah, injuries are part of football, isn't it? You know, it's just this stuff happens. I mean, we briefly discussed this last week, didn't we? I don't understand why clubs have academies because they don't use them. I don't understand why clubs have under 21s because they don't use them. I mean, as soon as you have to play an under 21 player, it has to be national news. Well, what the fuck's the point in having an academy? Oh, I've got 11 people in my match day squad that are from our academy. What's the fucking point of having an academy, innit? What's the point in them?
Pretty much.
Only the point of the academy is you bring them through to play in your first team. So you bring them through to play in your first team when they're needed. They're now needed. Play them. If they're not good enough, sell them.
Stop having them in your academy if they're not good enough.
No. If they're not good enough in your care, why are they there? Why are you paying them every week if you know they're not good enough to play in your first team? Fucking get rid of them. Cut your wage bill. Managers frustrate life out of me because the money ain't got no money to buy nobody, and yet they won't spend no time developing these young players and bringing them through. And when they've got to play them, it's like all hell breaks loose. It's the worst thing that's ever happened. Your academy should be where 90% of your players come from. There's no reason for it not to be in a modern day football team. They should spend all their money developing their academy, bringing in the best talents from around the world and getting them through and promoting people from within. They shouldn't need to be buying players. Man United shouldn't need to buy anybody. Man City shouldn't need to buy anybody. They should have everything laid out in front of them. So every year they've got 3 or 4 players that can join their first team and be good enough to join them. There's just no need for them to be spending £200 million and just such a shortfall in what they're doing. How many players actually come through Man U, Chelsea, City, Liverpool's academy and make it week in, week out? You can probably pick out 2 from each club that you can really think of recently over the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, and it's one thing historically that as much as Fergie was accused of having all the money and buying all the best players, he didn't. He built a squad of kids from 92 onwards that came from the academy that were built up and brought into the squad.
I think more teams did back then.
Yeah, absolutely, because there wasn't the money in the game.
Definitely made use of it. Now, I just can't understand as a football club, they're all run as businesses now, they're not run as football clubs.
Yeah.
Why you would think that it's a good idea to go and spend just 180 million on 3 people?
Yeah.
How much could they have done with that 180 million within their club? Bringing in the best young talent from around the world, 16, I don't know what age you can sign people from, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, getting them into your club, giving them game time in what is a proper under 21s. They're playing in, is it that Johnson's Paint Trophy they're playing there under 21s now? Something?
Yeah.
Giving them proper game time. When they look half decent, get them into your first team, get them on your bench, get them some minutes. If they're not good enough, sell them on, get the money back in and go again. And develop people from within these 180 million put into your youth development would have gone millions of miles, which should have got you the best possible chance of developing for the next 10 years the best talent. And they spent it on 3 players. There's just no need for a top club to be doing that.
No, because the talent's got to be out there because every club in the world and every country in the world is making
player
players.
Comes to an academy everywhere.
Exactly.
So all you're doing is technically being late to the party, aren't you? When you have to pay 60 million for a player, it's because you didn't scout him properly. You didn't pick up on him early enough. You didn't take him early enough. So surely the easy fix is to fix that because it costs you so much less to scout a player than just to ever buy one.
Oh, absolutely.
So every club in the world should be able to follow that model.
But I suppose it depends. You've got to get the buy-in from the club as well, so you can scout them. I.e., Ollie did at Haaland when he was in Norway. Told Man United buy him. He's going to be something special. They ignored him and said, "No, we don't think he's good enough." So you might have these scouts coming back with these reports saying, "Get X, Y, Z."
But somebody should have got Haaland before then, shouldn't they? Why did he sign his first professional contract over there? Why had nobody picked him up at 14, 15, 16? That's the one I'm saying. These clubs should be picking out these players. He came through, and as soon as he started playing for whatever that club were that Ollie were at, I can't remember which one it was.
Maybe.
Molde. As soon as he started playing for them, somebody said to United, you should buy him, right? He should have been picked up 6 months earlier than that. Signed to a professional contract at City or Old Trafford and bring him through your academy. Why are these people already playing for 2 or 3 clubs before these people are picking them up?
Because I think it's quite difficult potentially to scout. Or it's going to be, you can't do it all over the world. You've only got a limited number of scouts, and most of these games are not televised.
What I'm saying is, you've got 180 million pound there that you've just spent on 3 people. How many scouts could you put all over the world for 180 million pound?
True. Yeah. Fair point.
Yeah. If you paid each scout £100,000 a year, right? You can put 100 and I can't even do that math. 1,800 scouts. I don't know. You can put a lot of scouts out.
180 of them.
So that's one in every country, in it, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
That's every transfer window. You can put 1 scout in every country, every transfer window. So you can do it twice a year. So in 5 years' time, you can have 10 scouts in every country. You don't need that many, but that's where you could go. How much talent can you develop from that? And you would never have to spend money again, because you would be bringing in the world talent from everywhere.
You should be employed by a football club. Give it a go. See what happens.
I'll go and buy one. I got any going for 15 quid.
Barnsley.
I just can't. Just every time I see it, I just think this. It's just like the lazy way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, because what they're doing is they're looking at a talent that's already been nurtured, and they've got a ready-made player.
All these clubs have got feeder clubs now. Haven't they? Everyone's got a feeder club, even if they don't admit it. Chelsea's got one, United's got one, City's got. You could sign the best talent in the world to your group, and he could play in all these other teams. And basically, you could promote him from within, couldn't you? So he could start playing in the American MLS league because you've got an American team. It can move over to the Norwegian league because you've got a Norwegian team. You can then move into the French league because you've got a French team. And by the time he's 18, he can play in 3 different countries, adapt to 3 different styles of play, and be ready to come into City's first team and be given a chance.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You won't pay anything for him except for flying him around the world a bit. But we won't. We'll wait. And then, like Mamouche, I mean, I don't know where Mamouche has come from. He looks a fucking good player.
Yep.
But they've paid a fortune for him. Somebody's picked up on him 5 years ago and said he'll be a good player. Why are the top clubs not doing this?
I can't answer that, but you're very, very right.
You just can't find a team. The teams that do it are sort of your Southamptons,
Brighton.
Your Brightons. Brighton, all right, they spent a bit of money this summer, which is probably, I think they probably regret spending the money, because I think the best players are still the players that they've found and developed. That's the route that teams need to be going. And people say, well, they can't just keep finding these gems. Why? Why can't they?
Well, you've got to be able to, because footballers keep coming through. There's a constant stream of footballers entering the world.
Of good footballers. There's probably 1% of people that are really good at football actually get picked up.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of people that are real. I know people from growing up that were really, really good at football. Well, they've never even been seen by a football club.
No.
Because, which football club wants to send a scout to Chapeltown? They don't, do they? But funnily enough, they probably would have found 1 or 2 decent little players had they done that. People don't scout across the board. They lazily scout. They wait for a player to be picked up by somebody else. Rumour starts to get around. They go and watch him. It's too late because you're already paying big money for him.
But I think this also not just is then on clubs, it also goes back to grassroots levels within a given country, that they need to make sure that the young kids that are playing the game have the chance to be seen. So there's more, I will use the FA because it's in England, but the FA need to have more programs running and more chance for them to get seen at a younger age by these bigger clubs. Because we all know how it is in England, that if you're not at an academy by 11 years old, you're never getting seen. So
No,
you
you're
need to
not.
be
But
a proper academy early in life, otherwise you've no chance.
if it went the way that my mind's already gone with this, and it won't, because no one's going to listen to fuck all I've got to say. But if most cities have got more than one club.
Yes.
Sheffield's got 2, maybe, you can say Yorkshire, there's probably 6, 7 clubs. Rather than spending all this money on players, so let's just take Manchester for instance, because they've got the 2 biggest spending clubs in the world. Manchester United and City have probably spent, 400 million since the summer between them?
Probably something like that, yeah.
Probably more. If they spent that money in the way that I'm saying they should, employ more scouts, they should reach a wider audience. They should also spend that money on the local sides right from the start. So for us, we're Chapeltown, so we're Chapeltown Athletic, Chapeltown Junior. So you can imagine Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, put money into those clubs so that the facilities are better, the pitches that they're playing on are better, gives you a chance to develop better players. The facilities are better, that the changing rooms, the clubhouses are better. Suddenly then, that money that's been spent on buying, Riyad Brewster from some club who can't kick a fucking football for 20 million, could have been spent on 10 years worth of games for these smaller clubs, giving them the proper pitches, the proper facilities, so that you can send someone down there to scout them, to watch them, help the manager. You've got experienced pros within, the Sheffield clubs. Go down there, give some coaching, develop players right from a younger age and spend the money there. You've then got a massive pool of players, haven't you, coming
Absolutely.
through in your local area. Every year there's 16 players in each team. There'll be probably 20 teams in that league. If you spent the money there developing them players, you've got a huge pool of players. You're going to pull more than 2 players out of that you've just been and spent 20, 30 million on to buy. Why are we still buying players from all over the world and not developing our own and looking? I understand that there's going to be a crossover where City are going to fall behind Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich because they're not buying these top players. But it'll come round, won't it? Because once you get that pool of players together and there's a conveyor belt of people coming through, you're going to bring through the best, and it'll help England because they'll all be locals, there'll all be English talents that's coming through. It'll help grassroots because all the clubs will be funded, they'll have proper pitches, proper facilities. It's almost a no-brainer if you could get someone to take it on.
It's a no-brainer, but you've hit the nail on the head of the one problem why no club will do it. No club is prepared to take short-term pain.
No club.
They just
And
won't do it.
you almost need everyone to join in at the same time, don't you?
Yeah. You
Because
need it to
nobody
be
at the top
yeah.
is going to say, all right, then we'll stop buying players for the next 5 years and start developing our own, because that's going to hurt
Although
their
when you look at
chances.
it, surely there was the opportunity for something along this model for the likes of Tottenham, who've never won anything, so it doesn't matter if they're crap for 3
Yeah,
years,
as long as they don't
and
get
Man
relegated.
United, who've been cracked for a decade.
Man United, yeah.
They've had the time that they could have gone, actually, let's...
I mean, Man United are a
Except Gabon.
fantastic example, because how many players have they bought in the last 10 years that have been any good?
None.
There'll be less than, there are more bad players than good players of what they've bought.
Oh, God,
They've bought
by
1 or
far.
2 good players. You can't, I can think of a few players that they bought and you think, actually,
Yeah.
well done. But 75% of the players they've bought, you're not telling me we haven't got better in our academy. And if we haven't,
Then your
then
academy's
that's
failing.
disgraceful, isn't it? That is an absolute disgrace, because United have had one of the best academies through time. If you're willing to spend 75 million on Anthony, when you could put that into your own academy and develop 5, 6, 7 good Marcus Rashfords, even Jesse Lingard's, Paul Pogba's, they were good footballers. They've got bad attitudes, but they were damn good footballers.
Yep.
Ravel Morrison come through from United. I mean,
yes, he did.
Fantastic footballer.
Robbie Savage did. He was never a world beater, but he,
Yeah, but
made
still good footballers that have come through the academies. If you can do that with the effort you're putting in, just think if you pulled your money together from a summer transfer window and went, right, let's just put it through our club, local communities, smaller clubs. Let's get affiliate teams right from 5-year-old all the way through. Pay for the facilities, make sure they've got the best coaching available, send our coaches down to them on a weekend, run classes throughout the country, throughout the city, so that these young players can train on Tuesday with their team and they can train on Wednesday at an academy centre, so they're getting coached by United coaches, and build almost an empire of players that you've got within your own 10-mile radius of your ground.
I'm struggling to find any flaws in your plan. I've just come up with one.
It's
so
mad.
Man United put all this effort. Man United put all this effort into the local area, right? they build up all this pool of players, but then Arsenal might try and take them all and go, well, we quite like him, come and sign for us. Or Man City might, or Chelsea
That's
might.
fine, because what happens to one will happen to the other, won't it? We'll steal from Arsenal, they'll steal from us. As long as the players are all in there and they're all being developed, you can do away with transfer fees. So when they get to 6, I don't know when you sign your first professional contract.
16 usually for some, 15 for some.
You've come through. United either say to you, right, we sign you, or we don't. We release you into the pool. That benefits the Championship, League One, League Two, because these players then that have been schooled at the top clubs are all now available. They can go to Barnsley for free, and they're going to get well coached players that have come through the proper setup. You're not going to be buying a French striker that's fucking useless for stupid money. Take people from within the system that's there. And yeah, if they get to 16 and Arsenal say, well, we'll give you more money to come to us, then fine, that's fine. But he stays within the system. He's an English player that's been come through the system, and he's going to play in the English system. And if he goes to Arsenal and doesn't succeed, he'll just move down the pyramid like they do, won't he? And he'll play for Leyton Orient or some other team that can beat Liverpool.
Plymouth.
That's them. So
yeah, no, I genuinely.
You just sit there and think the money now is just so astronomical. What you could actually do with that money just reaches far and beyond what we're doing with it. Just guessing, basically.
I mean, I almost want to end the episode right there because we've just actually been sound logical humans for about 10 minutes, and you've made a rational point of something that it actually makes sense, and I don't think we can top it right now.
This is what happens when I don't drink beer.
I think if we continue to speak anymore, this episode just goes downhill and we descend into nonsense at this point because you've just been logical for 10 minutes.
It'll get me cancelled and this episode won't actually go out to air.
I don't think we can actually beat that. Yeah, it's a very, very good idea, and it's
fixed the football pyramid.
Being unemployed gives you a lot of time to think about things, I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, I have got 7 days a week to sit here and fix this problem for them. And I'm sure if I spoke to some, professional footballer, come up with some very, very bad points that I've made. But I'm open to talking about it. Simon Jordan, give me a bell. We'll go through it and get involved.
Yeah, I mean, the basics of it sound like, in principle, a great idea. Yes,
there's got to be a better way than what we're doing things, doesn't
there'd be intricacies and there'd be reasons that you'd have to tweak certain things, but on the surface of it, spending £85 million on Anthony was just terrible.
But £85 million on and it comes from a place of watching Man United set fire to hundreds of millions of pounds every summer. And you look at Chelsea have done it. I mean, what have they just spent? 1.4 billion have they spent since he came in?
Oh, they're spending.
What could they have done with 1.4 billion?
They could have bought a country.
I mean, they could have revamped the entire country's way of playing football.
Yeah,
couldn't they? Right from being kids, and they've bought a lot of players that we don't know who they are. Most of them have been shit. A lot of them they've already sold,
and the rest are out on loan.
It's just, it doesn't work, does it? It just doesn't work at all. And like I say, I've sat and watched it firsthand as we've set fire to more fucking bad players than I do know. And we still go into, aren't we?
You are.
So to end on that, I don't know who's going to win tonight. But
oh, yeah, that's how this conversation started. Who was winning the relegation 6-pointer?
What I tried to do is deflect away from the problems that one of us might get relegated. And I spent a total rant about Man City buying 3 players.
I'll give you that. You deflected very, very well.
I had to get away from it.
You ran a long, long way away from that result. A long way.
Yeah. I'm going to go 2-2.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I'm going to say 2-1 United.
Fucking hell.
Spurs have got a lot of injuries. You're bad, but I think they're probably worse right now.
I mean, it's bad to think that. I kind of wish we got a lot of injuries and we had to play as academy players. I almost want to be Ange's. I almost want to be in Ange's place where we've got to play the academy players. Because I think our academy players would give more of a shit than as first team players at the minute.
Well,
we will
unless
see.
You've got any more bombshells to drop on me this wonderful afternoon, I think we'll end
I'll not get started on putting the country to rights. I'll just stick to football.
You fixed football and United might beat Spurs.
Here we go.
And on that note, I think we shall say that's the end of another episode for this week.
Catch you next week.
Speak to you all soon.
See you bye.